All right, everyone. Welcome to our Geek Talk celebrating cohort number 55. My name is Alyssa. I am the campus manager for 4Geeks Academy. I'm going to start tonight with a brief presentation about 4Geeks, who we are, what we do. Then I will introduce our guest speaker and, of course, our project lineup for tonight. So let's get started. Now, my screen share was giving me issues before. You tell me if you can see my presentation. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so who is 4Geeks? Sorry, Roger, do you have a question?
No, trying to give a thumbs up. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Who's 4Geeks? We are a coding bootcamp. We are headquartered in Miami, Florida, but we do have 3 locations across the USA. So we're in Miami, now Boca Raton, since we've recently merged with Boca Code. We also have an Orlando location. And then we have 10 other locations all around the world in 7 different countries. So we have presence in Latin America. We have Spain campuses, Toronto, Canada. So we're all over the place. We have 2 main programs. We have our full stack software development program, which is the cohort that we're graduating tonight. And we also have a data science and machine learning program. Both programs are part-time and online, so they are very flexible, easy. I don't want to use the word easy, but possible to take even if you work a full-time job or if you have family or other commitments. And both of them don't require any experience. So you don't have to have prior experience working in tech. Most of our students and graduates are career switchers. They come from waiters and waitressing, retail positions, Uber drivers, restaurant workers, and want to launch a career in tech. So this program takes them from 0 to 100 in 16 or 18 weeks, depending on the program. Both programs also come with unlimited mentorship. That includes both coding mentorship and career support mentorship. So actually, that's on a future slide. I'm going to tell you about those 2 platforms. But first, this slide, just real quick, some of our validations. So we were named Best Coding Bootcamp in 2022 by Premios Excelencia Educativa. We're among the top 30 worldwide bootcamps by SwitchUp. We average 4.9 stars across all platforms, and we are licensed by the U.S. Department of Education. So we're a real school, not just somebody offering courses for the heck of it. Our real mission is to reduce what we call the unemployment rate. So unemployment means that you're doing a job that you're not achieving your full potential, what you could be doing. So like I said before, people who are working in restaurants but have the ability to be a software developer but maybe don't have access to education. So they don't have the funds to pay for college. They don't have the means. They maybe are parents and they don't have babysitters for their kids. We try to break down those different barriers and allow people to get better jobs. So after completing our program, the average salary increase that our graduates see is 22%, and about 86% of our grads are landing jobs within the first 90 days. Well, 90 days on average after completing the cohort. So it usually takes between 3 to 6 months to land that first job. Those 2 platforms that I mentioned before about unlimited mentoring, we have both coding mentorship and career support mentorship. That's kind of like the heart of our program and what we do. So it's to support our students and support our grads for life. So they have unlimited access to one-on-one sessions, group sessions, our Slack channel. It's just a big community of developers supporting developers. So the coding side is what we call GeekPal. And then the career support side is what we call Geek Force. So LinkedIn help, resume help, interview preparation, GitHub, current hiring partners that we work with, our partnership network, all of that is taken care of. So we have different career support representatives. They're led by Valentina Encieta, who's our head of Career Support USA. And these are just a few success stories that are featured here on the right-hand side. But this is such a small preview of the stuff that happens all the time and people landing jobs all the time, every week, someone new is landing a job. These are companies that our grads are currently working at. So towards the top, you have bigger companies, and then towards the middle, towards the bottom, you have more medium and small size companies. But especially here in the Miami startup scene, it's not necessarily better to work at a big company or a small company. There's pros and cons to both. But we have grads working, across the whole array. So we have people at Microsoft, and then we have people at small startups with 5 or 6 employees. So it's cool, especially in a big tech hub like Miami and in this tech scene, to see that contrast and the success of different grads in different types of positions. These are different partners that we work with. Some are educational partners like Miami-Dade College. We offer a program there. Shell Hacks is a huge hackathon. Then we have funding partners like Skills Fund, Quotanda. So this is just a wide range of different types of community partners that make what we do possible, whether it be funding, education, community events, etc. Then our speaker for tonight, we have Roger Rodriguez. He is the lead developer and chief customer success officer at GoSprout. And then we have two projects presenting tonight. We have Cheers Home Bar Pro, and we have Shelf Share. That is a tongue twister. All right, thank you for your time. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I am going to pass it right on over to our speaker, Roger.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Larissa. And it's a pleasure being here. It was a last minute invite from a good friend of mine, Carlos Vasquez, which is the CEO of Miami AdTech down there in Miami. I'm coming at you guys live from Colombia, Cali, South America. I, just like you guys, wanted to become a software engineer, and I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to be remote before COVID even happened. So I'm living that life now. So I'm not that good at improvising speeches, so I decided to write something down to try to make sure that I transmitted what I got from my experience as I graduated from a boot camp, just like the one you're graduating from now. So today we are gathered to celebrate a remarkable group of individuals. You, the graduates, like characters in a story. You're at a pivotal moment, equipped with skills and potentials, ready to embark on your next great adventure in the world of software development. In every story, there's a hero. The hero faces a challenge. In your journey, this includes the ever-evolving technology landscape, the gap between academic learning and the practical application, and the industry's high demands. Personally, you might face self-doubts like imposter syndrome and uncertainties about your future. Almost a decade ago, I was in your shoes, grappling with similar challenges. My journey from a bootcamp graduate to a seasoned software engineer and an educator at universities like UCF, UCLA, and the University of Texas have taught me invaluable lessons about navigating this dynamic field. My advice to you is twofold. First, embrace continuous learning while you seek opportunities to apply your skills, like apprenticeship initiatives or any kind of position that you can go into. Second, remember your why is why you got this far. If your why is strong enough, you can bear anyhow. These steps are your roadmap to not just survive, but thrive in the tech world. Now is your time to action. Your time to take action. Step boldly into this industry, apply for apprenticeships, jobs, continue building your skills, and don't shy away from challenges. This is your moment to start writing your own success story. Inaction and complacency are gonna be the antagonists in your story. Overcome this by staying curious, being proactive, and continuously pushing the boundaries. Remember, every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Imagine a future where you're not just a software developer, but an innovator, a problem solver, a leader in technology. This is the success that awaits you, a career where you make significant contributions to the world through technology. Like all great stories, your journey will be filled with highs and lows, but with your skills, determination, and willingness to continually learn and adapt, your story will be one of success and inspiration. Congratulations on this remarkable achievement. And here's to the chapters you're about to write in the tech world. If you had to take anything away from the speech that I just gave, is remember your why. Thank you.
All right, so we can also open up the floor for some Q&A for Roger. I want to start. So I see you're the lead developer at GoSprout. So can you tell us a little bit kind of like what a day-to-day is and what type of projects you work on?
Yes, I love working in startups. GoSprout is a startup. We started it about 2 years ago from the ground up. Had to develop everything from the business logic, everything how the database is going to be architecture to the logic, to the business logic that happens in the back end. I'm now actually, as the lead developer, I do pretty much manage the front end team, the back end team on the web app, and also do the front end team and back end team on the mobile app, which we use mixed reality experiences on there. So I'm daily communicating with stakeholders. Those are my designers, daily communicating with my customers so that we can iterate over the product and make sure that we are actually solving a valuable problem. So I communicate with my customers, I translate that to my designers, and then I meet with my development team so that we can apply the designs that they have brought out. So that's kind of like a typical day among a bunch of other things that you do in a startup, of course. Did that answer your question, Larissa? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Is anybody else? Anybody
Yeah, I
else
was
have
gonna
some?
ask, like, what was your first junior developer role, and like, what kind of tasks and everything were you doing when you first got into the industry?
So as soon as I got out of the boot camp, I knew that I wanted to be remote from the very get-go, and I knew that if I took a job, that was going to be the end of me because I wanted the security of, and even if that meant being in a place. So I held out a bunch of options, and eventually went into a startup that accepted me remotely with a bunch of conditions, right? And at the very beginning, it was a lot of feedback. Just getting it could feel very daunting entering a project that's already going on, because you probably used to, you create the repo and then you start on the repo, and it's a different experience when you're going into a repo that has thousands of lines of code, and you kind of have to walk through the setup, and it takes you like a week to get even the environment set up, and maybe 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, they're about to pay me my first check, and I really haven't done anything for this company. So what really got me through that, John, is remembering my why. What was my purpose? What did I wanted to accomplish? And with that, as long as I asked for help while I was in my startup, even if there wasn't that many folks, I could always reach out to at least one person, either from my boot camp or peers in my boot camp, and say, hey, I don't know how to do this. And at that moment, there was no Chat GPT and stuff like that. It was a bunch of Googling, right? So with that help, I was able to kind of get adjusted at my role and be able to translate the requirements that the designer gave me into actual working code. That
Awesome.
makes sense, John?
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
What was like the job getting process like from start to finish?
The job getting process, like onboarding the company?
Like from graduating here to eventually getting hired by someone?
Oh, so my process was very social. I would go to a lot of social events, and to be honest, I happen to like partying a lot, and I would party a lot at these events that I would go to, which I'm sure that you guys, set up events that you go meet your employers and all that. And to be honest, I had no expectations of that, and I would really just be myself. And the more drinks were in my system, the more of myself that I was. And through that, I was able to connect eventually with somebody that what he liked about me wasn't the skills that I had at the moment, but the potential that I had, and the determination that he knew that, hey, you met me. I told him exactly what I wanted. I'm going to be a software engineer. I'm going to be a senior software engineer that works remotely from different parts of the world. I had it very clear. So they were like, okay, I know what I'm getting with this guy. So I follow two leads, Tom. I know a lot of my peers went a different route. They call the employers, follow them on LinkedIn, did a lot of legwork. That mine I just happen to be more social when I'm in person. So I just had two leads. I called two of them, and one was accounting and the other one was education. And ultimately, education was what drew me. So I went with education. And once I knew that I wanted them, then I really started the harassing part, like calling them, making sure I'm following up, making sure I started providing value for the person that I wanted to work with before they even hire me. So that at one point he was like, you know what, you're doing so much, let's just bring you on board. But that's kind of how the initial contact happened. Once they show interest, I see which one I really want to follow, and then I attack that opportunity head on. Did that answer your question, Thomas? Awesome.
Yeah, so right now, how the AI and like ChatGPT, as you mentioned, is affecting in current market for hiring process?
Oh, great question. Smith, is that how you say your name, Smith?
Yeah.
Okay. So Smith, right now, we actually just finished hiring a Unity developer, so that we can go ahead and do iOS and Android deployment at the same time. And it's tricky when we were looking at the applications that were coming in, because you can kind of tell when an AI wrote the code right? They just they even leave the comments sometimes on there. So you're like, oh, okay. So what it really comes down to is when you meet the developer. And what I try to do the most is I try to learn something from that person that's in front of me, especially because we're in a startup. So the number one rule that I go with is, if you can't teach me something new in the interview, I can probably do what you're doing. So in a startup, you really want people with different skill sets so that they can tackle different areas. So we encourage the use of ChatGPT, and we try to get Copilot, GitHub Copilot to everybody in the company. We encourage that a whole lot. For new folks that are coming in, we do like having them write their logic out, so because they're not used to writing tests for their applications. So we like asking them, hey, just go ahead and write out your logic and pseudo language, right? Just write out what it is that you want it to happen. We put that immediately into ChatGPT, that spits out a code, and then we tell them to read that code and does that make sense? And then we take advantage of that to make sure that our developers, especially entry level, write the test, because as a software developer, you don't know if it's working if there is no test written for it. And even if there is a test, there's a possibility it might still fail. So that's just adds to that. But it's affecting a lot. That's definitely a tool that should be in your toolbox from now.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome, man.
Any more questions?
I guess there's a question on the chat. Yeah.
What cloud certificates would you recommend for new graduates? I guess it depends on where you want to go. I think if you go with AWS, that's a strong one that you can go with, especially with the partnership that they have with OpenAI. I'm sure a lot of you saw the first developer day of OpenAI. That was a couple weeks ago, and you can see the collaboration that Windows has with OpenAI. So on there, they mentioned a couple of products like Azure and the stuff that Azure AI is doing. So some certificates in AWS and Azure will be powerful to get some AI items on your resume right off the bat. But it definitely depends on what if you want to gear towards the front or if you want to go towards the back to steer those certificate selections. Did that answer your question from the chat, Anthony? Genial.
Any more questions? All right. Well, thank you for coming, Roger. I really appreciate you stepping in there and giving your expertise about what it's like to be a developer. Maybe you can drop like your LinkedIn so that if they want to connect with you or chat more. Bridget, did you have a comment or was that an accident? She was trying to do a...
Yeah, I was trying to do a reaction. But
Okay.
thank you, Roger. Appreciate you being here.
Awesome. I'll drop the link in the chat, and I look forward to the presentations.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Drink group. Cheers. Homebar Pro. You guys are up first. Take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being part of the presentation today. I want to introduce you to an innovative app, Cheers Homebar Pro. Give me 1 second here. Let me get my screen shared. There. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. All right, so me and an amazing team put this together, and we're really looking forward to showing it to you. My name's Fred. I'm the team lead. I have a background in gaming and XR development. And 4Geeks has actually added one more layer to my development toolbox with the full stack program. So it's been a really great thing. Now, enough about me. Let's go ahead and meet the team.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Andrea, and I'm currently a massage therapist. I joined 4Geeks to have better career opportunities. What I enjoyed most about working on this project was having the ability to tap into my creative side and also bouncing ideas off with my teammates and learning from everyone. Shifting from the from the spa industry to tech definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, which certainly made me grow as an individual and as a web developer.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I don't really have a background in coding at all, besides one Python class in college I took. One of the things I loved about this class is I learned more about how to connect all the different gears. I mean, anyone can do one little bit of code, but it's seeing how all of them interact with each other that I really loved learning. Now, passing it off to Daniel.
All right. My name is Daniel. I have a background in accounting. I have actually taken a couple classes like way back in high school, just basic web design. I've created a couple of like basic WordPress websites back in the day, but I didn't really know too much about it. I'd get an error on the console and it would throw me all the way off. Uh, but more recently, like during COVID times, I started playing around with code a little bit more, which kind of reignited my passion for it. And that's when I decided to sign up for this course. I think one of the best things I learned through this course is how to debug stuff. It's a pretty big thing I've learned, and it's gotten a lot easier. And I'm starting to really learn like what errors go with what. So it helped me a lot with that.
Now, who would use this app? And the answer is pretty much anyone who's ever had a cocktail. The app is very, very easy to use. You just type in any liquor that you want, and it gives you a giant list of cocktails that you can make. So, really hoping that pretty much everyone uses this app. Passing it off to Andrea.
Okay, so some of the languages that we used for front end would be React and JavaScript. For the back end, we use Flask and Python, and the Cocktail DB is the one that we use for the API. I like that one particularly for the extensive amount of recipes that were available for users. And honestly, I even learned a few recipes myself. And we also use the OpenAI. We use that to create the virtual bartender, where the user can ask questions about recipes and also get ideas with food pairings as well.
Hey guys, sorry about that. It's demo time now. In here. Okay, can you guys see everybody see the screen okay?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so when a user arrives to the site, they are greeted with an age verification. You must be 21 to enter the site or even to sign up. If you're not 21, we have a special treat for those users. They'll actually be taken to the Disney page. Otherwise, you'll be taken to the home page where you'll be greeted with all the features that are available for a non-member. On the left side is a list of our latest stories that comes from something called Shots, which is our blog page. And on the right side is our sign-up feature. So once you become a member, these are the features that you gain. So if you click on that, it'll take you right into the sign-up page. And Daniel will go ahead and demonstrate the sign-up function right now. All right, and another great feature about this is you're able to reset your password. So you're able to put in your email address, an email will be sent to your mailbox with the link. You can click on that link and it'll actually take you back to the site, to the password reset page, where you'll be able to reset the password. All right, now let's go ahead and log in. And once you log in, one of the basic features, which is for users and non-members, is our basic drink search. You can put in a single ingredient here and it'll give you a list of drinks. You're able to add them, click on them and add them to your favorites. If you click on the details page, it'll give you a listing of the drinks, the ingredients, and the instructions. So you'll understand exactly how to make them. Also in the bottom right corner, as you can see, we have something here called Cheers, which is our virtual bartender. We have him there to basically, for your complete use. You can use him to look for food pairings, other drink ideas, ask a funny joke, kind of whatever you want to do. He's your virtual assistant, or virtual bar assistant, excuse me. Now, when you actually work into the profile, you'll see where all your favorite drinks can be saved. You can add, delete, and you can go ahead and revisit any of the drinks that you've actually selected in the past. Now, since nobody really wants to drink alone, we created a virtual lounge, which is our Cheers Home Bar Social Lounge. This allows for users to be able to go in. They can voice chat. They can text chat. We have our instructors in it, some of the owners. They can go in VR, mobile. There's a mini quest in it. Up toward the top, we have our developer lounge, where it shows all the developers that helped to create this app. It was created with Unity, and well, the main state was created with Unity, and then through Spatial. And also another great feature about this space is for events. Let's say, for instance, if Hennessy decides they want to do an event, we can change this whole space up to be completely geared around what they're trying to do. So that's another feature. And then, as you can see, there's a screen over on the other side. We can actually have TV night or movie night where people can come in and watch videos about cocktails. So that's our social aspect for it.
All right, and another feature we added to our website. Let's say you have a new recipe you want to submit. You could go ahead and do this, or you have an issue with the website, like it's broken. That actually feeds to an API that we could reach in the back end and submit any new recipes we want or fix any issues they have. All right, let's go back to the presentation. All right, and then I guess we've had a lot of learning opportunities when it comes to this project, whether it be fetching from an API, working as a team on Git. I learned that one of the best things you can do is actually ask questions. You might not understand what you're doing, but someone else will. Also, another great thing that our teacher Ernesto taught us is just to start. Don't be afraid to run into problems, and debugging is half of the battle. Even the experts have to deal with it.
All right, and we want to thank 4Geeks, Ernesto, Loli, Rich, family, friends, supporters, everyone that stood by us these long few months to get here. So we appreciate everything. Do you all have any questions?
Thank you, Ernesto.
Nice work, guys. A lot of praise here. Go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, I actually have a question. So how is the project broken up between all of you? Like who did what exactly?
Well, it was basically when it comes to back end. Actually, I can pull up the stories to kind of go through it, but just as a roundabout, the majority of the work as far as the back end was done with Daniel and Thomas. Andrea worked directly on making sure all the favorites work correctly. Me and Thomas got in and worked with the API for the drink search. He also with the chat bot. I put that together, but then he went back in and set it so that you're able to actually save the chat sessions to each user. Daniel handled the contact listing. So, I mean, everybody chipped in. I mean, each part, for the most part, everybody's hand was kind of in it to try to help. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Sure. So, just a quick question: How are the passwords being stored securely in the back end in the database?
Yes, we're hashing the passwords right now. And then also when you get a link to your email, it sends a token securely, and you never see it, but it shows up on our side when you reset the password.
Super cool. And what collaboration tools did you guys use?
We used, do you mean as far as like APIs?
No, I'm more like GitHub, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
It was a GitHub or Gitbucket.
GitHub. And then I think one of our teammates was on Gitpod.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool.
Bridget, go ahead.
Yeah, how long did the team have to complete the project? What was the timeline for you to complete it?
About a month or so, and we did run into some problems because GitHub decided to delete all of our code spaces. So we were scrambling to like fix up the code that we had that was like several commits behind.
And just so you guys know, I added the link to the social space in the chat. So if you want to check it out, it's public now. So you can jump in if you want to look at it.
That's awesome. I saw my picture on there.
Yeah.
That
What
was-
was the hardest thing to implement?
The send email function, my God, we had to sit down with Ernesto for hours to try to figure out what was wrong. It was the worst thing ever.
And they
Well,
banned his account, so I had to create an account, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah, we didn't store the API key in the env, which we should have. And when it was pushed, Mailgun decided to just nix my account.
Yeah, this is a really great project. Laura, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to give you my congratulations. It's amazing what you have achieved in just 4 weeks, because that's the time that we have for creating this kind of amazing works. I'm very proud of you. It shows how much you have committed to this. So you have become great developers, and you will do awesome. Like I'm really happy for you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's definitely with these final projects, there's a way to, I guess you get out of the projects what you put into the project. So, you can put in the minimum and you can do what you need to do and pass and get your certificate, or you can really build something that, could actually go to market, that can monetize. Just the fact that you were talking about how Hennessy could do events inside your virtual world, that's totally a thing that happens in metaverses. Companies host events. I know that Subway has Subways inside the metaverse, and you can order a sandwich at a Subway in a metaverse, and then you can go pick up a sandwich at the real Subway. So, those are real ways that you can actually monetize, and you can tell that you guys were passionate about this project and put a good effort into it. I love the color schemes. I love all the features. So you guys did a really nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for this group? All right, then we will move into our second and final project, which is Shelf Share.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so hello everybody. My name is John Pazda, and I was a member of the Shelf Share team. And once again, thank you to everyone who is participating in this. So first, let's just introduce ourselves a little bit. Like I said, my name is John. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I studied finance in college and have been working in accounting and finance for about the last 4.5, almost 5 years. And really what's made me to decide to pursue software engineering, I haven't really found accounting and finance to be too mentally stimulating, just staring at Excel spreadsheets all day and looking through financial documents. And actually, my girlfriend is a tech consultant for Deloitte. She's currently a Scrum Master, so I had a lot of exposure to the tech world. And I really like the creativity, the mental challenges, and everything that goes into coding. And my experience at 4Geeks, I think I had a really good experience. I think Ernesto had mentioned this. I didn't really fully realize how much we had learned until we got to this final project and putting everything together. I think it's really amazing to see what we all learned in just 4 months. And I'll pass it over to Smith.
Hello guys, my name is Smith Shah. I am from New Jersey. I have done my master's in mechanical engineering, and in the past 3 years, I have been in manufacturing industry as a mechanical design engineer. What I observe here is in this industry, there is job opportunities very limited here. And while in IT sector, the way it's growing in world and in particular in USA. So there's so much opportunity in IT sector. So that's why I'm willing to switch my career into IT sector. And experience about the 4Geeks, it's a very wonderful experience with 4Geeks. I can say the way they have designed this course in within like 4 months. So it's wonderful, and special thanks to our instructor Ernesto, the way he managed all of us, wonderful. And I will be always thankful to Ernesto and 4Geek. Thank you. Marcelo?
Are you there, Marcelo?
I think Marcelo fell.
Oh, did he disconnect? Okay, if you
No,
want to go ahead.
so
sorry.
yeah.
No, I'm here.
Go,
Hello.
Marcelo.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'd like to share a few words with you. My name is Marcelo. I'm 50 years old. I'm Brazilian, graduated in data process. I currently live in Pompano Beach, Florida. In Brazil, I worked many years in technology and telecommunication companies as a process analyst and coordinator in teams and projects. I've always worked with IT professionals, but I've never been a software developer. I came to America looking for challenges such as learning English, getting to know a new culture, and develop my professional career. I like to learn and develop my creativity, and I believe that learning to program will keep my mind active and give me opportunity to make good money. I choose this course because I always want to be a software developer. In my experience at the 4Gig was very good, and I'm very satisfied. However, in my case, it's not easy at all. Actually, I don't speak English very well, as you can see and hear. Everything about this course was a big challenge for me. Learning programming language, tools, and concepts in language that I don't know, indeed, it wasn't easy at all. But with a lot of dedication and helping from teachers, Ernesto and Lowly, my classmates, and some mentors from 4Geeks, I learned a lot and I delivered all the projects in this course. The hardest thing for me was overcoming the embarrassment and the feeling of disturbing my classmates and teachers. I truly appreciate everyone's efforts in helping me in understanding. The deal was for them to teach me programming languages, but not English language. But believe me, even my English improved after this course. I'm very grateful to everyone for their patience and dedication in teaching me. I'm so happy and proud to have gotten here. In conclusion, my advice as an older student is keep going, enjoy, and never give up. That's it. Thank you, guys.
It's good.
Awesome, Marcelo.
Good, Marcelo. So I'm came to the last one. So my name is Kyle. I'm 31 years old. I made 2 years in computer science in Brazil. I'm from Brazil too. So we have the lucky to have Marcelo here, so we can help each other and our colleagues in this at this project. It was amazing. So we have a lot of help with the teachers, and I think we made it really well done to this project. The way that we proceed with this project was really good. The idea for our self-share, it was amazing. So that's what we needed more. So we are seeking for great opportunities to improve our career and then just growing up in every spot. So 4Geeks was essential with all we needed to do it since the beginning to now. So let's go.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, so intro and purpose. What is Shelf Share? So Shelf Share is a book exchange / trade / donation platform. It was originally Kaio's idea that we decided to go ahead with for this project. And why did we create Shelf Share? So here's just some reasoning and a statistic. We believe in the past few years, there's been a big push towards returning to physical books versus digital copies. similar to in the music industry, how people prefer to have vinyls, and recently people have pushed towards returning to vinyls and physical copies. People seem to enjoy having a physical thing rather than a digital thing. And we think that along with this, like in every industry, there's been rising production costs. This has led to an increase in prices for books. And with everybody looking for ways to save money, we think it'd be a good idea that people could either exchange or trade books instead of having to spend money and buy new books. And we also think that it could be effectively marketed to college students, as anyone who's been to college knows that textbooks are outrageously expensive. And Smith can talk to you about our technologies and architecture.
So as you see, these are our overview of the technology we use in our websites, like in front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We use the React as well. For design stuffs, we use the also Bootstrap. For the backend side, the main language we use Python. For the database, we use Postgres, SQL. We use here also some third-party API like Google Place API. So let's see demo.
All right, now we're going to switch over to our demo.
So this is our website. If user visit our website, they can see like this. So these are a bunch of books available in current market. If someone takes, let's say, view some book, then they can see here the title of book, details books, the year, the publish year. So here, let me tell you about what is here exchange and donate. So these are the two main feature about our projects. So let's talk about the donate. Donate means if someone wants to read off some books from their house, so they can upload here in this website. Like for an example, if like let's take a high school kids, if they pass like 8th grade and they comes to 9th grade, so what will they do about 8th grade books? So like their parents, they can visit our website and they can upload those books, so it will be helpful for other kids. So that also they can also, users can also exchange. So exchange means let's take example for university students, like if someone taking the database course, they just finish and they are moving for algorithm class, and algorithm students who just finish and they are moving in database subjects, so they can exchange like those books, because we know housing, like how much expensive these books. So here user can also contact their particular person, but we need to log in before. So once user login, then they can also contact like this. So this is our chatbot, but not a third party API. We use totally core database relationships. Here users can contact and receive, send and receive the chats here as well. So like these just designed like WhatsApp, I can say.
Yeah, and Smith pretty much designed this from scratch. There was really no third party use, so that was a big challenge for him that he overcame.
Yeah, we overcome finally as a team. So let's see about front page. Yeah, so here also people can search books like by typing any name. So like this, they can search here. They can also filter books, like they want to see which books is just uploaded in the market, like latest book. They want to see by years, like publish year. They can also filter like this book. User also can the favorite, unfavorite their books, so they can see their books favorite and unfavorite. So now John.
Yeah, and then we also, with the Google Places API that we used, when the user signs up, we obviously get their address and also their latitude and longitude information. And with that, we're able to create a filter to where if users only want to see other local users, they don't want to have to deal with shipping or anything, they can use a filter. For this one, for example, we have it set to within 30 kilometers. So these are the other books uploaded by users who are located within 30 kilometers of this user. And then, so to upload a book, if they click here, this takes them to their main profile page. So this is the profile page of the user signed in. On the left, we have their available books, and on the right, we have their wish list. So first, to add a book, this would be their books that they have available to either exchange or donate. They can just enter in the information here.
And this feature also design most of backend work from the John as well. We got so much problems and we overcome finally each features. it took a lot of work, hard work, to understanding the how relationship work in database.
So after they submit it, redirects them back to their profile page, and you can see the book added here. And then on their wish list, these are books they don't have that they would be interested in receiving. And all they have to do is add in a name, or the book name and the author name.
And mostly our front end design work done by Kayo and Marcelo.
Now let me log out and log into a separate user to show another feature. So
like
the,
yeah.
go ahead, Smith.
Yeah, like this, a user can switch and they can see if match, right?
Yeah, so with the wish list, we created a function that if they uploaded a book that either was already in the database or if another user uploads a book that they have on their wish list, they get this matched button that pops up. And if they select it, it switches to the main page and already has the book searched, so they can have easy access to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go over to the sign up function, log out. Okay, so the sign up function, obviously they just have to put in a name. And then this is where the Google Places API takes over. So I'll just put an address here. This is all auto-filled from the Google Places API, and this is where we get the latitude and longitude information.
So these third-party API feature work done by John.
Yep. And now let's show another feature that actually Marcelo worked on all by himself. In the login page, he created a forgot password function that if you enter in here, submit, it will send an email to my email. And then when I click on this link, it will redirect me to our reset password. Well, this access key, I believe, is valid for either 30 minutes or an hour. And I can reset the password. Oh, the token expired. I think they clicked the wrong one.
Other link, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and now the password is reset in the database. There we go.
So we just try to make a more simple and user-friendly website, like some basics features, and keep it simple rather than some fancy stuff. So people can use this website. They can upload their used books here, and environment where we also can save some papers as well.
Yeah, we wanted to go with a modern, sleek-looking kind of an app type feel, which is how we got the styling here. All right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so our main challenges that we came across, we had a lot of issues with database management. A lot of times when we were merging code, for some reason, it would mess up the database and we would have to drop it and rerun the database. So we got really quick at doing that. I think Git and GitHub, it seems like a simple concept, but it gets complicated really quick when you have multiple people working on either the same code or different pages of code and then merging them together without deleting other people's code or screwing up their functionality. And then I know for myself, putting together all the different functionalities, 2 different languages, different components together, I think it's a lot easier when you're learning each one individually, but then when you have a blank website and you have to put all the different functionalities together, it can seem a bit overwhelming, but we were able to get through it, and I think we feel a lot more comfortable with everything we've learned now. Okay, so future plans or next steps we see for ShelfShare. We would like to integrate a third-party API for book data. I know Google Books is one we could use so that a user could just type in possibly just the name of the book and the author, and it would autofill all the other information. Possibly a payment system if we would like to allow users to sell their used books on the website. And we would also like to implement a user and profile rating system so other users will know who is a reliable person to either borrow a book from or send their book to. And that was it for us. So thank you guys so much. If you have any questions.
Nice work, guys. Go ahead, Roger.
Really love the idea, guys. That's an idea that's been rattling around my head. When as soon as ChatGPT came out, I thought that it was a great idea to have something of books that you can share around. And I was even looking. I know you and the technologies used. I saw the OpenAI API being used. So I was for a second, I was like, oh, I'm about to see interaction of the book through a chat engine, GPT. That would have been super cool. But everything you guys did is extremely awesome. How was the just thinking about it? So users can borrow books from other users. Am I right on that?
Yeah. So the idea is they would connect through the chat, and they could choose. It would normally, the main idea is they would exchange books, and then they could decide whether they want to exchange them back or keep them. And they could connect through the chat to decide how they want to exchange those.
And when they exchange, does that attach them to the user via the database, and it gets attached to them?
As of right now, the user would just delete the book out of their available books. So it would be deleted from the database.
Oh, super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, Laura.
Again, well, congratulations for all of you. You have done an amazing job. I'm super happy to see this kind of projects to be presented by the end of the course. And I want to give my congratulations to your teacher and TA, of course, because they are amazing too. I have a question for you. How are you storing your images? Are you using some API or something?
Yeah, so right now, that's a big part of why we want to integrate the third-party book data. Right now, a user would just have to copy either a local file or a JPEG to upload for the image. But eventually,
and where do you save that image?
That's saved in the database.
Oh, in the database. Oh, okay. Thanks.
To follow up on that question, so you save the link to where the image is stored on the database.
Yes, the image address.
Oh, okay, I get
As
you.
a string, yeah.
As a string, yeah.
Copy. Super cool. Who was I know you guys were working in the front. What was did you guys design it first before starting coding it right away? I'm guessing. What were the design tools that were used to?
So we used. Smith, can you remember the name of it?
Mockups. We use the mockups. We make the all layouts one by one. If we also use over the conditions, like let's say if someone log in, then they can go this URL. If not log in, then they cannot go there. Like that, we made. It took 2-3 days to design those stuffs, I think. Right, guys?
Yeah. So we started with the designs, and then I think we started with some front end, and then started building the database shortly after.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Any other questions?
I guess I don't have a question, but now that everyone has asked questions, I use the filter because I cry. So with the filter, you cannot tell that I cry. I'm very happy for all of you. I feel like you are my little chicken, and I am a big mother hen. I'm very proud of you because you have all overcome not only your own challenges, but also the main challenge, which is always be willing to admit that you're gonna fail because you don't know and you're learning. And I think that's the takeaway I want you to carry with you in your careers. Like, just be resilient, and if you're not getting errors, it's just because you're not trying anything new. So if you see it that way, I think it's easier to just start and try stuff. So, well, you have a friend forever as well. If you ever need help with anything, whether it's code or thoughts, just send me a message. I'm very happy for you all, and congratulations once again. And thanks to Lolly, obviously, for joining us through all this program. And also Laura and Alisa as well. Yes, I feel like a president now just saying thank you. I want to thank Roger as well. It was very nice to have you here.
Yeah, I think I might have skipped over my presentation, but I wanted to give a special thanks to Ernesto and Lily as well. They made meeting for class 3 times a week for 3 hours and Friday evenings for 3 hours. I actually was looking forward to joining class because they made it interesting and were full of knowledge. So a special thanks to them.
Yeah, again, special thanks to Ernesto. The way you debugging, I will remember.
Very nice.
Where's everyone at? Is that a black guy?
Loli, are you there?
Well, I'd like to second what Laura said about the quality of projects in this cohort. It's very evident that your teacher and TA were amazing because you guys had amazing projects. And just like I did in the rehearsal, I'd like to give a special shout out to Marcelo and Caio because taking a course in a language that is not your first language is an extra challenge that is posed. And there's people who try to take this course in English, which is their first language, and hit roadblocks and quit. So the fact that you guys finished with that extra challenge is just awesome and amazing, and you guys should be really proud.
So I have to say Smith as well. It's English is his second language as well.
And Smith too.
Improving.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the whole situation that even the teacher is using the second language. So it was even harder, I guess, because my English is maybe
Your
similar
English is
to
very
it.
fluent. You're
It doesn't look
speak better than most native.
Way better than ours. So
It's so good, man. It's so good. I'm very proud of you all.
Any other questions, comments, final thoughts before we close out?
I'm proud of you guys, by the way.
I meant to send an emoji.
It's happened many times tonight. Anybody else? Any final words? All right, then we are good. We always do this event on a Friday because we want you guys to celebrate your achievements. We want you guys to chill and relax for the weekend. No global mentoring tomorrow, no one-on-one sessions. Go out with your family, have a nice dinner, have a drink, celebrate with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, husband, wife, children, whoever it may be. You guys have worked really hard for 18 weeks. You guys don't have to show up to class next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Actually, next week is Thanksgiving, which is really cool. So I hope you guys have a good holiday. Please celebrate, relax, enjoy your time. And then maybe take a week off since next week is a short week and we have Thanksgiving. And then the week after that, we keep coding. That's when we start the career support, then we start searching for a job. That's when all that stuff comes in. So usually I say we're going to do that Monday, but maybe since it's Thanksgiving, we can do like a little week break and then we can like start the career support the next week. So I hope you guys enjoy. Big congratulations. And I will definitely be in contact with you guys and see you soon. We'll all be in touch in Slack. Have a great night and a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ernesto.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ernesto.
Thank